Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make an IHOP restaurant. Oh, and by the way, just in case you have any more building related needs, I would highly recommend checking out the card system, because if you like this particular build right here, I'll be leaving links to all sorts of videos and playlists just like this in the card system. For instance, I would highly recommend the Real World Buildings playlist that has loads of things exactly like this. But that's enough talking, guys. Moving on, if you want to make IHOP, here's what you're going to need. Grab yourself some block of quartz and some spruce wood planks. Grab birchwood planks, then grab yourself some quartz stairs, some spruce wood stairs, grab birchwood stairs, flip over, grab yourself some red wool, some dark blue wool, and finally, guys, grab yourself some black stained glass block. Now, it doesn't have to be block. If you want to, you can use pane, but I'm starting to like glass block a little bit more than pane, just aesthetics wise, but it really doesn't matter whichever you prefer. So once you have each one of those materials right here, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll be making it right here, you're going to want to kick off IHOP with this sequence of blocks coming directly up from the ground. You want to do 3 spruce wood, that's 1, 2, 3, followed by 18 birchwood planks, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then 3 spruce wood planks to finish this off. That'll be 1, 2, 3. So in total, you'll want to have something which should look a little bit like that, and that is perfect, guys. 3 spruce, 18 birch, 3 spruce. Now, once you have that row taken care of, you now actually want to do 2 more of that very same row going right. So you want to copy this row and you want to do it 2 more times, and you want to drag it over to the right here. So we're just doing this, we're dragging it over to the right hand side. So you want to have 2 more rows of the same to give you something that kind of looks like a recolored magician's wand. Now, once you've got that taken care of, you, starting from the very bottom right hand corner of what you've made, so this bottom birchwood plank block, or spruce wood plank block I should say, going right of this, you want to place a block of quartz. Then on top of that block of quartz, you want to go up by 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then go right by 12. So the 7th block, go right by 12. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then connect that 12th block all the way down to the ground to form an archway shape like this. What you then want to do is this. So coming all the way down to this very first quartz block that we placed, going right of this to this sequence of blocks, you want to do 2 glass, then 1 block of quartz. And on top of that block of quartz, you want to go up by 5 this time. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You then want to go right by 6. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then connect that 6th block all the way down to the ground to form an archway like that. What you can then do, guys, is take the very top center block of the archway and just do a row of quartz that connects the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top, whichever way you want to see it. Then, inside of these 2 little archway shapes that we have right here, do 2 rows of black glass coming down towards the bottom, and then do a horizontal row of quartz. So you want to end up with a shape that should very much look like that. What we can now do is, on the outside of the doors, because that's exactly what we've just made, guys, those 2 little entrances, those 2 like little spaces of 4 that we have down there that are left and right of each other, we just want to leave those 2 spaces open. So left and right, we want to leave those open, and we can fill the rest of the area in with quartz, or in with glass block inside of the quartz is what I was trying to say. So you want to have that. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next, guys. So, starting this time, going right of this very bottom right hand quartz block, you guys can see the one, going right of this very bottom right hand quartz block of the entrance, coming up from the ground here, you want to do 3 spruce wood planks, that's 1, 2, 3. Then 18 birchwood planks, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Then 3 spruce wood planks, that's 1, 2, 3. And of course, once you've done that once, you want to do the very same thing again 2 more times, this time going right. So you just want to do the exact same thing 2 more times. So essentially, we want to have a symmetrical shape. We want to have something which kind of looks a little bit like this. So once you have that taken care of, guys, this is what you want to do next. Take out your dark blue wool. on top of the entrance, connecting all the way up to as high as we have went with the spruce wood planks, we want to do an entire big giant rectangle of dark blue. So we essentially want to connect the left hand side and the right hand side of the entrance together, and we want to do it with dark blue walls. So just completely fill this empty area in with dark blue. That's exactly what I'm doing. Hopefully it shouldn't take too much time because the area isn't that big. I think that we're already halfway done. Yeah, we are halfway done. We've only got 2 more rows to do after this, and once we've got that taken care of, we can actually work on IHOP's branding a little bit. We're going to do the IHOP logo. We may as well do as much of the entrance as we can whilst we're here. So we want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. Now, once you have that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So take out your old pal, the red wall. Starting from the top left-hand corner of the big giant rectangular archway that we have here out of quartz, so you're in top left-hand corner of the quartz entrance that we have. You want to find the second dark blue block coming up on the left, so that'll be this one right here. Place a red wall in front of it, then go up on top of that red wall by 1, then do 2 upright diagonals, that's 1 and 2, then go right by 1, do an upright diagonal, then go right by 4, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, then do a bottom right diagonal and go right by 1, then do 2 bottom right diagonals, that's 1 and 2, go down 1, then go left 2, then do 2 up left diagonals, that's 1 and 2, then go left by 4, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, then do 2 bottom left diagonals, that's 1 and 2, then go left 1 to give you a shape which should very much look like a mustache. Fill that mustache in with red wool, and this is kind of like that little red archway, that little red bend thing that's underneath the actual IHOP letters. So you want to have something which should look like this. Once you have that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So take out your block of quartz. Coming on top of the right hand side of the archway, you're actually looking for this block right here. It shouldn't be too difficult for you guys to find. I have it highlighted, and this is the easiest way to kind of start things off. So on top of this red hand block on top of the right hand side of the archway, you want to go up by 5 with your block of quartz. So in front of this block coming up, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You then want to go right by 1, do a bottom right diagonal, bottom left diagonal. Take out your quartz stairs. Underneath of and on top of the most right hand quartz block that you've placed, do a regular facing upside down quartz stair. Once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So starting from the top left hand corner of the P, you want to leave a gap of 2, so that's 1, 2, and on top of this third block you want to place a quartz, do a bottom left diagonal, go down 1, bottom right diagonal, up right diagonal, up 1. Then inside of each one of those empty spaces in the 4 corners of the O, you want to place the appropriately placed stair. So you kind of want to have something which should look like this. You guys can figure out which stair you've got to place where in which corner. Now, once you've got that O taken care of, we now want to, once again starting from the top left hand corner of the O, we now this time only leaving a gap of 1, so leave a gap of 1, we want to do a row of 5 quartz, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, I say 5, it's 4, sorry, I apologise, I'm thinking about the P. We want to do a row of 4 quartz, then we want to take this first block from the bottom, so this one, extend it left by 2, then go down 1, and then up 2 from that second block. Then, to finish off the final letter, which is the I, on the left hand side, the same length as the H, just a single row of quartz. You want to, 1 block away, do a row of quartz, and that is IHOP, and that's like the actual branding of IHOP, that is IHOP. Now, once you've got all of that taken care of, this is what we're going to do next. So, the next order of business, guys, is for us to take each one of the birchwood planks and the sprucewood planks and extend them, coming out in front of the shop each by 2 layers, so that'll be 1 and 2. And we want to do this with each one of the birchwood planks and each one with the sprucewood planks. So we want to do the exact same thing to both of the 2 woods, extend them, coming out in front of the store by 2. So we're just going to do exactly that, and this is going to give the 3D pillar effect. Plus, we're also going to be messing with them a little bit. I was a little hesitant to do this now, but honestly, there's no point in waiting until later to like come back to this part. We may as well fully complete the entrance, and then we may as well and then we may as well just like move on. We may as well do like one part at a time. There's no point in like doing a certain amount of detail and then like coming back after we've already done it, because I think that's a little bit confusing. So I figure we may as well do the entire entrance as we can, because we will have to leave a little bit of it, which is the roof, but we can do all of that in one go anyway. So we're just going to do the actual entrance. We've just about completed the first task, and oh my god. Oh god, why? Okay, well let's just destroy this. Let's just solve this problem that I've created. I really should have stopped once I saw it was doing that, but I really didn't have the motivation. So what we want to have, once we've extended the left and right out in front of the first initial row by 2, we want to end up with something that should look like this. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what we're going to do next. Take out your spruce wood stairs. Come all the way down to the bottom left-hand side of the entrance, and right at the bottom here, in line with the first row of spruce wood planks, we want to do a row of regular facing spruce wood stairs. Then, leaving a gap, coming up, we want to do a row of upside down spruce wood stairs, just leaving a gap of 1. Then, on top of the spruce wood stairs, do regular birch wood stairs. Then, leaving 3 rows, so that'll be 1, 2, and 3. We then want to do a layer of upside down birch wood stairs. Then, we want to, leaving just a gap of 1, and in the center of the row, we want to have a spruce wood plank coming out of the left-hand side of the entrance. Then, with the birchwood stairs, you want to, leaving a gap of 1 again, you want to do a regular facing row of birchwood stairs. Then, once you've done that, you want to come all the way up to the top of the entrance, and where the birchwood ends, you want to do, in line with the top row of birchwood, a row of upside down birchwood stairs. So we want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. And if you're just wondering to yourself, is all of this detail necessary? Look at the left hand side, then look at the right, and you tell me. So once you've got that taken care of on the left, we now want to do the same thing on the right. So coming over to the right, starting from the bottom again, we want to, in line with the first row of spruce wood planks, we want to do a regular facing row of spruce wood stairs, then leave a gap of 1, then do upside down spruce wood stairs, then on top of the spruce wood do a layer of birchwood stairs, then leaving a gap of 3, that'll be 1 and 2 and 3, we want to do a row of upside down birchwood stairs, then leaving a gap of 1, and in the center row we want to do spruce wood planks coming out in front of that middle row. We then want to leave a gap of 1, and coming out in front of the second row, so the gap of 1 out in front of the second row, we want to do a regular facing row of birchwood stairs. Then coming all the way up to the top, where we have this top row of birchwood planks, we want to do an upside down row of birchwood stairs. So in total, we want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. So we want to have something which should look like that, which looks pretty nice if you ask me. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what we have to do next. So we're now going to build up the entire rest of IHOP. We're literally going to build up all of the walls, and then we're going to come back to the entrance and the roof, because that bit is a little bit more complicated, and we're going to save that until last. So once you've got that taken care of, you now want to, coming left of the entrance, and starting with this like very back left hand corner spruce wood block, you guys can see the one, so like the very first spruce wood block that we placed, going left of this, you want to do a row of, let me make sure that I've got this right, a row of 21 spruce wood coming out to the left. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Row of 21 spruce wood. On top of that row of 21 spruce wood, stack 2 additional layers of spruce wood. So that'll be 1, give it some time, and this will be 2. So 2 layers of spruce wood, just like that. Now, what we then want to do, and this is where the next bit gets a little bit tricky, so what we then want to do on the... Actually, no, I know how to do this. So on top of the 3 layers of spruce wood that we have, 1 plus 2 is 3, we then want to stack a layer of birchwood planks. So just stack a layer of birchwood planks like this. Then, starting from the left-hand side for the next row, going from left to right, do this sequence of blocks. Do 3 birch wood, that's 1, 2, 3. Then do 6 block of quartz, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then do 3 birch wood planks, that's 1, 2, 3. Then a 6 block of quartz, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 3 birch wood planks. So you want to end up with something that should look like this. Now, what you then want to do, on the left and right hand sides of those rows of 6 block of quartz, so blocks number 1 and 6, we want to go up on top of those each by 4. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Then connect each one of those 4th blocks together at the top. So that's left window, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Left and right at the top, connect the windows together. Then, completely fill the center of the windows in with black stained glass. Again, you can use paint if you want to, but honestly, I just prefer the black stained glass, or at least I've conditioned myself to think that. So, once you have the windows in, what we can now do is take out the birchwood planks again, and on top of like these 2 rows of birchwood planks that we have, and these include the windows as well, we have to move in between them, we now want to do 12 layers of birchwood planks. So it'll look like this. It'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm just going to drag this 12th block all the way over to the right hand side where the entrance is, so you can kind of like visualize this a little bit better. So what we essentially want to do is we want to fill 12 rows of birchwood planks in all the way around these windows, and this is going to make up the majority of the wall. After we've made up the majority of the wall, we actually have quite a few details to add to the wall. So the wall is actually a little bit fancier than you might imagine. The wall has, like on the very corner and the bit next to the entrance, it has some like pillar looking things that I've added, and it makes it look a little bit nicer. And it's also got some of those weird clothy things above the windows, which I'm not entirely sure what for, and we're just basically going to be adding nice little details like that after we've done this. We're going to be doing everything but the roof. The roof I'm going to try and keep all in one. I'm going to try and do that all in one go. So we just want to have something which should, so far guys, that's all 12 rows built up. You want to have something which should look like that. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So starting from the very left hand side, in front of the front left hand corner block here, we want to stack up 3 rows of 3 birchwood planks. So that'll look like this. It'll look like 1, 2, 3, and then we want to have 3 rows in total. So that'll be 1 and 2 stacked on top like that. Then we want to take this left-hand top sprucewood block and this right-hand top sprucewood block, and we want to do 2 rows of birchwood planks that look a little bit like this. So we kind of want to raise up that left one and raise up the right one and connect them together. Or, well, we don't want to connect them together yet, and we want to just have a row of left birchwood planks and a row of right birchwood planks. Then connect them together at the top and the bottom, which is, I was kind of getting ahead of myself. Then, starting from underneath the top block right here, we want to do a sprucewood plank block, then a birchwood plank, and then do a layer of sprucewood planks that comes all the way down the center. And that is pretty much all you want to do for each one of these pillars. So we have a pillar on the left, we have a pillar on the right. So the pillar on the right is the exact same configuration. We want to start off with 3 layers of 3 sprucewood planks. So we're on the very right hand side, we want to do 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Take the top left, top right hand blocks, do 2 rows of long birchwood planks, connect them together at the top and the bottom, so we've just connected the bottom and the top. Then we want to, underneath the top block, do a sprucewood plank, then a birchwood plank, then sprucewood planks running all the way down to the bottom. So we want to have something which should look a little bit like this. Now, to finish the wall off, we then want to take out our blue wall, and at the top of and in line with the window, so we want to be 1 row above the windows this time, and we want to do this to both of them. We want to do 2 dark blue wool coming out of the blocks in line with the left and right hand side of the window, and we want to connect those second blocks together like that. Then on top of that row of blue, we want to stack another row of blue, so we want to have 2 layers of blue like this. Then above those 2 layers of blue, we then just want to have 2 rows of blue that, again, span the length of the window, but this time they're only like 1 block outwards. So the first layer is 2 block outwards in front of the window, and then we got like taper into the wall itself by just doing 1 layer of dark blue. That is the left hand side. Let's do the right hand side. So we then want to take these blocks and these blocks, extend them out by 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Connect them together, do an additional layer on top, then do 2 layers of dark blue in the same position really, except 1 block backwards. So the entire left hand side of IHOP wants to look exactly like that, which it seems kind of complicated, I guess, as you look at it, but it's pretty easy when you break it down. So just to show you like the left hand side and the entrance together, it wants to end up looking a little something like this, and it's quite nice, it's quite easy, isn't it? So once you've got the left hand side taken care of, why don't we do the right hand side? The right hand side is of course identical but mirrored. So we're now on the right hand side, we're at the back right hand corner bottom block of the entrance, and going right of this bottom block we want to go right by 21 with the spruce wood planks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We then want to stack 2 layers of spruce wood directly on top of that layer of spruce wood. So that will be 1 and this will be 2 stacked directly on top. So we want to have 3 layers of spruce wood planks. Then we want to add in the windows. So to do that, starting from the left hand side, first of all, of course, once we have our 3 layers of spruce wood, we want to do an entire layer of birch wood planks. So we want the 3 layers of spruce wood, 1 layer of birch wood planks. Then starting from the left hand side, now it's time to add in the windows. So we want to do, going from left to right, we want to have 3 birch wood planks, that's 1, 2, 3, 6 block of quartz, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 birch wood planks, that's 1, 2, 3, then a 6 block of quartz, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 3 birch wood planks. So, boom. We want to end up with something that should look exactly like this. We then want to take out a block of quartz, and on top of the left and right hand sides of each window, we want to go up by 4. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Then connect each one of those 4 blocks together. That's the left window, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And we just want to connect them together to form the 2 windows. We can then fill the 2 windows in with black stained glass. So we're filling the left one in with glass, and we can now fill the right one in with glass. So that's exactly what we're doing. Perfect. Now, once the 2 windows are in there, you guys know we now have to add 12 layers of birchwood planks. So to do that, just to visualize it a little bit better, we want to start from the right hand side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then connect that 12th block all the way over to the entrance. Shouldn't take too long, and that is perfect. So connect that 12th block all the way over to the entrance, and now all we have to do is just completely fill this wall in with birchwood planks, and this won't take too long. Once we've filled this in, if you guys can remember, we then have the pillars to do. What do we have to do after the pillars? We have to fill the bits just above the windows. So that is what we're going to be doing right after this. And then what we're going to be doing, guys, we're going to, I know that I've been referring to this as like the left and right hand side, but this is still the front. What we're then going to be doing is the actual left hand side of IHOP and the actual right hand side of IHOP. And then we'll be moving on to the back, and then we'll be doing the 2 roofs, and then we'll be done. So there's not that much to do. One of the more complicated parts is this. So that's the right hand side so far. Once you've got that taken care of, guys, it is now time for us to add in the 2 pillars. So to do this, starting from the left hand side, first of all, we want to take out our spruce wood planks and do the 3 rows of 3 spruce wood. That's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then take the top left, top right hand blocks and do 2 very long rows of birchwood planks. So that will be 1, and this will be 2. Connect them together at the bottom, connect them together at the top. Starting from the top now, we want to come down by 1 the spruce wood, 1 the birch, rest with the spruce wood. That will be pillar numero uno. Kind of looks like a big giant I or a big really long A. Once you've done that on the left, do the same thing on the right. We're now on the right, 3 rows of 3 birch, or spruce, that's 1, 2, 3. Then on top of the left hand block and top of right hand block, we want to do the 2 long rows of birchwood planks. They also want to be connected together at the top and the bottom, as you guys know. Then coming up to the top, underneath the middle block, we want to do 1 spruce wood, 1 birch, rest is spruce wood, and boom, we have almost at this point completed the right hand side. We then want to take out the dark blue wool and do the things just above the windows. So left window, right window, we want to do this. You guys know, spanning the entire window, we want to do 1, 2, 1, 2, connect them together, add an additional layer on top, then do 2 layers of dark blue. That'll be 1 and 2, and then on top of the right hand window, 1, 2, and 1, 2, connect them together, then add an additional layer on top. Then do 2 layers of dark blue, that's 1 and 2. So you want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. So that is pretty much the entire front of IHOP done, minus the roof. And the roof is a big significant portion of this, but as I keep mentioning over and over and over again, as I usually do, we'll be doing that a little bit later. So once you've got the entire front taken care of, this is what we're going to do next. Come all the way over to the very left hand side of IHOP. You're looking for this block on the left hand side. So you're on the left hand side of IHOP. You don't want to go directly left of this spruce wood block. You want to be in a 1 and going left of the spruce wood block towards where the back of IHOP's going to be. You want to do a row of 35 spruce wood planks. That's 3, 5, 35. So that'll look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Perfect. Stack 2 additional layers of spruce wood on top of the first, so that'll be 1 and 2. These sides are not too dissimilar to like the front left hand side and the front right hand side. It's actually a bit of a simpler version. You guys might like this. So once you have thrown on your 2 layers of spruce wood planks, we then want to add a layer of birch wood planks. So on top of the 3 layers of spruce wood, 1 plus 2, 3, add a layer of birch wood planks, like this. Then, starting from the left hand side, because I like starting from the left hand side of things for whatever reason, we want to, going from left to right, on top of this row, do the sequence of blocks. So we want to do 2 birch wood, then 6 block of quartz, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 3 birch, that's 1, 2, 3, 6 quartz, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 3 birch, 1, 2, 3, then 6 block of quartz, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 3 birch, 1, 2, 3, 6 quartz, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we want to end up with something that should look like this. Once you have each one of those 4 windows in place, we then want to do the exact same thing that we did to the front windows. So the left and right hand blocks, they want to be raised up each by 4, connected together at the top, glass in the middle. So that'll look like 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, throw them together at the top, glass in the center. Above the windows, we're going to have those blue things. You guys know how this is going to work. I'm not going to explain any of the windows again. We've already done this 4, now 5 times, soon to be 6. You guys don't need the windows explaining to you anymore. They're very simple as well. It's not as if they're really difficult to get a grasp of. So once we've done the windows, we then have the birchwood planks to add. So we'll be adding the layers and layers and layers of birchwood planks all the way around the windows, filling in the wall. And then beyond that, we'll be adding the things above the windows. And then what we'll be doing next, I'm sure we can figure it out. So once you've got each one of those 4 windows taken care of, starting from this back left-hand side here, we want to, on top of this block, go up by 12 with the birchwood planks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then we want to connect that 12th block going all the way over to the very front of IHOP. So you guys know how this will work. It takes a little time to do this, of course, but bam, we should connect right here. It's in the same place that we kind of like started from, like at the bottom. You guys can see it's like in line with it, of course. And what we then have to do, we have to completely fill this side of IHOP in with birchwood planks. This might take a while. As a matter of fact, I don't need to say might, it will take a while. The sides of IHOP are they'll take a little longer to fill in, just because they're a little bit bigger than like the front left hand side and the front right hand side of IHOP. I actually think that I may have made IHOP a little too big. I'm starting to think that I made IHOP a little too big. I was looking at the building and, oh god. I was looking at the building and whilst I really like it, I like what I've done with IHOP. I think that it looks really good. I think that I might have made it a little too big. I can only imagine as well, this is kind of on my mind, I don't know why. IHOP has got to be popular over there in the States, because the amount of requests that I've had to make this is just unbelievable. Unless there's like 3 guys with like 50 accounts asking me to make this, then the amount of the requests and support for IHOP is just crazy. But it's a cool looking building, so you know, it's no bother to make. I really like it, and I really like how it came out. But It must be a lot bigger than I thought it was. I thought it was just kind of like a small chain or something, but apparently, who knows. So we've just about filled in the entire left-hand side of IHOP. It should look a little something like this. Before we move on to the bits just above the windows, this is what we want to do next. On the very left-hand side here, the very back left-hand corner wall, we want to do the first 2 rows once again in front of these 2 rows. So if you guys can imagine, we want to take these first 2 rows and extend them coming out of the side of IHOP by 1. So you guys, I'm sure, understand this concept perfectly. It's just me and my explanation being a little wonky. But what we eventually want to have should look a little bit like that. Then take out the dark blue wool, do the things above the windows. I'm not explaining the things above the windows again because well, I don't think it's necessary. We've done it 4 times already. Don't have to explain it. You guys know how to do the windows at this point. We're just doing these, and then that will actually be like the entire left-hand side of IHOP done. That'll be that. The only thing that's left to do on this after that is the roof. That's it. That's it. It's as simple as that. Once we've actually done the entire left-hand side of IHOP, guess what side we're going to be doing next? Guess. Take a wipe. It's going to be the back. I almost got you. It's going to be the right-hand side of IHOP. Once we've done the left-hand side, we're going to be doing the right-hand side because it's the exact same. It'll be nice and fresh in our minds. We'll know how to do it, and then that'll make the back even easier to complete. So we're just filling in this left-hand side. We've just about finished it. We've got 1 block left. Bam. We want to end up with something that should look exactly like that, and that is perfect. Once you have that done on the left-hand side of IHOP, guys, we now want to move all the way over to the right-hand side, which is quite the distance, and we want to do the exact same thing. So we're on the right-hand side. Starting from this first block coming inwards, you guys can remember this, we're on the first block coming inwards. We don't want to be in line with this one, we want to be 1 block inwards. We want to do our row of 35 spruce wood. That'll be 3, 5, 35. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. On top of your layer of 35, add 2 additional rows of spruce wood. So that will be 1. Give it some time. And that will be 2. Of course, this will take a little while. Once we've done this, I'm sure that you guys know what's coming next. We're going to be adding in all of the windows. Right after that first layer of virtual planks, which I always forget. So on top of your in total 3 layers of spruce wood planks, I keep forgetting the names of them, add the individual layer of virtual planks. Then going from left to right, do this sequence of blocks. So for the next row, going from left to right, do this sequence of blocks. We want to do 6 block of quartz, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 3 birch, 1, 2, 3. 6 quartz, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 birch. 6 quartz, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 birch. 6 quartz, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then that should just be 2 rows of, or 2 blocks of birchwood planks right at the end, like that. We then want to build up the windows. You guys know how to do this already. Left and right hand blocks up by 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I don't have to count that out again. I have to count out the first one just because whilst I'm trying to like talk and like count in my head at the same time for things, like if I don't count out loud, I'll usually mess it up. I usually mess up the count. So we're just doing the windows, as you guys can see. Nothing much to this. Destroy those. There we go. Got the windows done. We now have to fill them in with black stained glass. Once we've done that, we'll be adding in all of the layers of birchwood planks. Then we will be doing just above the windows and adding that pillar on the back right hand corner of IHOP, and then we'll be doing the very back of IHOP, and then it'll be roof time and all of that. So those are the 4 windows done, guys. Now starting from the very back right hand corner of IHOP, we want to go up by 12 with the birchwood planks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then connect that 12th block all the way to the front of IHOP. So we're just connecting it all the way to the front like this, and then we've just got to completely fill the side in with birchwood planks. So we're just going to fill this in with birchwood planks and then that will be, well, you guys know how it's going to progress from here. I'm just thinking about the back of IHOP. The back of IHOP, it's mainly plain because, well, I've never been in one, obviously, because I'm not American. I haven't been over to the States ever. Never actually left the country, but I've never been over to the States ever, so I can't exactly figure out how it looks inside. I've taken a look at a couple of interiors on like Google Images and stuff, so I've got a very basic idea. The reason that there's no like windows and stuff on the back is because that's where the kitchen and that's where like a bar. I don't know if they have a bar at IHOP, but I've given it one anyway. Kind of like a bar slash customer area. And I've got like toilets back there, so I figured it probably doesn't make any sense to have any damn windows back there, or at least didn't make any sense to me, just because it would interfere with so many things. So you guys could add windows to the back if you so chose, but I didn't. It's just completely plain back there, so it's mainly easy, but there is a little bit to do. So once you've filled in those 12 layers of birchwood planks, like this, we then want to, the very two back rows, we want to raise these out each by one. So we want to, with our birchwood planks and our sprucewood planks, raise these out by one to form a little pillar like this. Then take out the dark blue wool and do the things above the window, so that'll be 1, 2, and we've just got to do these in front of each one of the windows. And I believe that I've already mentioned this. The next step after this is, of course, doing the back of IHOP, which is very straightforward, except for just the two little pillars which we're going to add. You know the 4 pillars that we've done on the front of IHOP? You know the fancy looking ones where it looks like a lowercase I shape? We've got to do that. We've got to do that to like the back part of IHOP, but it looks nice anyway. It's definitely worth doing, and it stops the back of IHOP just looking a little bit boring, because I know that some of these buildings, like the fronts look the best, the sides look quite good, and like the backs are usually the backs of these realistic buildings, there's usually not too much going on, and at the very least, like if we've got like that interesting pillar looking pattern, it is a little bit better than just, you know, absolutely nothing there. So we want to end up with the right hand side, we want to end up with something that should look exactly like this. Alright, time to move on. So the next part of this is going to be for us to do the entire back of IHOP, which seems really daunting because it's big, but honestly it's really simple. So come all the way to the back of your IHOP, come all the way to this block right here. You're on like the back right hand corner technically, so you're very close to where you were just before, and you want to be in line with like the second block coming in of this pillar that we have right here, and going right of this block, this one that you can see that I have highlighted, you just want to do a very long row of spruce wood planks. You guys know the material, it's spruce wood planks. You want to connect the left hand side all the way over to the right hand side, just as I've done there. Then you want to do 2 additional rows of, you guys know what we're doing, 2 additional rows of birchwood planks. Birchwood, damn it, spruce wood planks. So that'll be the first row, and then the second. This will take a while. I don't know why it is that I cannot, for some reason, get these the right way around. I know it's confusing when I say, oh, use the birchwood planks, but wait, he's using the darker one. I know, guys, I'm sorry. It's something that I have a problem with. So, once you have all of your layers of spruce wood planks, there should be 3 of them, the entire rest of this thing has to be filled in with birchwood planks, and I do mean birchwood planks. This is going to take a while, you guys know how this works, so this is going to take us a little while. The way that I'm going to do this, and I am going to hang in there, I'm hanging in there with you guys. Typically, I might just say, I'll leave these guys to it, I'll let them, I'll be back in a while, but we're going to fill this thing in together. We're just going to snake our way along the right hand side here, and by snake I mean the old really mobile game where you've got to try avoid touching your own tail, and you've got to just eat apples and avoid the edges of the screen. That's exactly how I imagine this, and we've just completely destroyed what we were doing. You know how we were doing so well? Not anymore. It's over. We just completely wrecked what we were doing. I was proud of us. But oh my god, what is happening? This was supposed to be a quick process, and it has suddenly turned into a 50-minute endeavor. Actually, I bet that's roughly how long IHOP takes to make. I've got absolutely no clue. IHOP's got to take a while. This is a big building. and we're not even finished. We've got some really bad parts left to do. We've got some things which are going to take us a really long time. But yeah, we're just filling in this back wall with birchwood planks. We're trying to make as little mistakes as possible. I'll destroy that birchwood at the end. And the only thing that we have to do back here, after we've actually like filled in the entire back of IHOP with birchwood planks, all we have to do is the pillars. Like, you might be able to see that we have pillars on the very back left and the very back right hand corner of IHOP. Well, we're going to make those a little nicer. We're going to make them look a little bit more like the ones that we have on the front. You guys know the ones that we have on the front. There's like birchwood involved, there's spruce wood involved. It looks quite nice. So we're going to be molding those into something like we have on the front, and then it's entirely the last thing that we'll have to do with this building. We'll just have to do the roof. It's going to be the roof time. It's going to take a while. The roof is going to... It's big. It's not as easy as I'd like it to be, and we're just gonna have a great time doing it. And by great time, I mean we're gonna have a terrible time doing it. It's not gonna be fun whatsoever. The amount of mistakes I've made on the back of here is absolutely unrivaled. This is unbelievable. But we've almost reached the right hand side. I think that this is definitely the faster way of doing things. I'm pretty sure that if we were to go left and right, I don't think that we would have got this taken care of as quickly. We've got a couple of mistakes just to knock out, but once we've destroyed block U and U, we want to end up with something that should look exactly like this. Now, once you've got that taken care of, what we now want to do is this. So let's start with this very left-hand pillar. What we essentially want to do here is we want to turn this into what we have on the front. So we have to add an extra row coming in from the right. We want to knock out the second block, replace it with spruce wood planks. We want to miss one, knock out all of the blocks coming down, leaving the very bottom one connected, then do a layer of spruce wood planks right the way down in the bottom. So we essentially want to have like a lowercase I shape, just like that. Very simple, nothing much to it. Once you've done that to the left, do that to the right. I didn't explain that very well or put too much emphasis on it because we've already done this twice over. You guys know how these things look now. You know exactly what to do. We've already done it a couple of times, so we've just got to knock out these blocks. We would have built it in to the back. We would have done it like whilst we were actually doing this, but I think that this is the easier way around. So what the entire back of your IHOP wants to look like, it wants to look exactly like this. Pretty simple. So once you have that done, this is what you want to do next. We now want to take out our old pal, the red wall. So what we now want to do is we want to go all the way around the top of our IHOP, and this only applies to the birchwood plank part. We want to go all the way around the top of our IHOP with our red wall. So on top of each one of these birchwood planks, we want to stack a red wall, going all the way around, as I've already said. So go all the way around the top of this with your red wall. And you know what? I actually lied. Not only do you want to do this once, guys, we're going to want to do this twice. So we're not going to want to just have one simple layer of red. We are going to want to have 2 layers of red wall. It's going to look quite nice. So this will take a little while. Everything about the roof is going to take a little while, and by little I mean a lot while. Yeah, sure, that sentence makes sense grammatically. It's going to take a lot while, and after we've added these 2 layers of red, we've got to then meld it a little bit more, and it's honestly worth it. As much time as this all takes, IHOP, I think, is really good looking, so it's worth it. So we've got the 1 layer of red. Let's add on the extra layer of red going all the way around on top of what we've just made, and then we're going to make the roof a little bit more 3D-like. We don't want to just leave it like this because the roof's a little bit boring if it's just all flat and what have you. We're gonna add bits that overhang. There's going to be a little bit of depth to the roof, not only on the front but on the inside of it as well. The roof itself is actually quite interesting. We've not only do you have the top center part, but the actual like how the roof is made up. It's not just like a big giant square rectangular shaped like big piece of glass. It's all split into sections, it's all split into rows. It's almost as if somebody put some thought into making it. It's weird. It's almost as if somebody actually spent a bit of time actually designing the roof this time instead of just doing something a little bit boring. So what we want to have should look a little bit like this. So those are the 2 layers of red. Pretty simple. Now, what do we want to do next? Well, we basically want to take the outer parts of that second row, and we want to extend them coming out of the front of the building by one. So it's kind of difficult to explain what you want to do without showing you. So this is like the front left-hand part of the roof. So we want to have, like, we want to take each one of those red walls and we want to extend them coming out towards us by one row like that. So you can see what I've done, like the pillars, they come out by one, the actual wall itself, they come out by one, and you have a depth between the pillar and the center of the wall. But you don't want to do this just all the way around the outside. Like, you don't then want to come to this side and extend this row out, because I didn't do it that way. We want to just do it to the center part now. So on the left hand side, for instance, you just want to take that top row and you just want to extend it out by one, and you don't want to do the same thing to this corner. But when you're on the back, you do. You want to do the same thing that you have on the front. So you want to take the pillar, you want to extend it out by one, plus you want to do the same thing with the top row of the very back of your IHOP. You want to extend that out, coming out by one row, but you don't want to do the same thing to the side. So just to show you the back, you can see that's how it is. The pillar comes out, the actual wall comes out, but when you get onto this side, again, you don't want to take these two blocks and extend them out. You only want to do it with the wall part. You don't want to extend them out from the side. So that's like the right hand side. Then we want to take these parts of the pillar, we want to extend this out, plus the center part here, plus the pillar again. So if you guys can see, and let's just make this a little faster, we want to have something which should look like that, and you can see that it doesn't stick out of the left and right hand side. That's perfect. Now, once you've got all of that red added, it's now time for us to move on to IHOP's roof. This is going to be no fun whatsoever, trust me on this one, and it might be really hard to explain how to do it, but we're going to give it our best go. So once you've reached this point right here, guys, this is what you want to do next. Come all the way to the top left inside part of IHOP. You are looking for this. Can you guys see it? You guys can. This birchwood plank block right here, just above like the top of the roof, top left hand side of the entrance inside of IHOP. So you want to be in line with this birchwood plank block here, but you want to be 2 rows inwards from this, so that'll be 1 and 2. So it's this block right here. I'm sure that you guys can see the one and how we arrived at this. While going left towards the back of IHOP, we now want to do 13 dark blue wall. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 dark blue wool. We then want to, continuing to come back, do 3 birchwood planks. That's 1, 2, 3, like so. Then on top of the birchwood, we want to stack another layer of birchwood. On top of the birchwood, we then want to stack 3 layers of spruce, so that'll be 1, 2, 3. What we then want to do is fill in the entire center part with dark blue wool. So fill the entire center part in with dark blue wool. That's exactly what we're going to do. Once we've done this on this side, we'll be doing a very similar thing on the right hand side. Actually, there is a little something that we're going to be doing beforehand. So once you've got your dark blue added, what we then want to do, we want to take each one of those birchwood planks and those spruce wood blocks, and we want to extend them coming towards us each by 2 rows. So we're kind of forming a pillar shape very similar to what we have on the right hand side of us, which is the front of IHOP. So we want to have this. Once you've done this on the left hand side of IHOP, do the same on the right. We're now coming to the right hand side. We've got our old pal the dark blue again. We found this equivalent birchwood plank block. We're moving in by 2 rows, so it'll be right here going towards the back of IHOP. We want to do a row of 13 dark blue. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We then continue to go back, want to do 3 birchwood planks. That's 1, 2, 3. Then, on top of the birchwood planks, we want to stack another row of birchwood, followed by 3 layers of spruce. That'll be 1, 2, 3, like that. Then, fill in the center part of the 2 pillars. We want to fill in the center part with dark blue wool. So, let's just completely fill this in with dark blue wool. And once we've done that, we can then extend out the pillar a little bit, as we did on the opposite side. So, add in the dark blue wool. Then extend out this pillar going towards the right hand side of IHOP by 2, that's 1 and 2, and of course we want to do that for all of the birchwood plank blocks, all of the spruce wood plank blocks, and then we will be left with something that should look a little bit like this. Once you've done that on the right hand side, we now want to come to the very back part here, take out the dark blue again, and in line with like the first birchwood plank that we place, so like right here, you guys can see it, we want to connect the back part together. So the dark blue essentially wants to be set 2 rows of backwards in relation to the actual pillars themselves. Then on top of the dark blue wool, we just want to stack, I believe it should be 4 layers of dark blue, and let me just adjust this a little, there we go. And on top of the first layer of dark blue, we just want to add 4 more layers of dark blue, and we just want to fill in the empty center part here. So we just want to have something which should look a little bit like that, and that is of course perfect. Once you have that taken care of, this is what we want to do next. We want to take out the red wool. Well, with the red wool, on top of the spruce wood and dark blue wool, we want to stack 2 layers of red. So on top of, and yeah, on top of the spruce wood and the dark blue wool, we want to stack 2 layers of red wool. So you guys can see that I'm already working on the first. We're just completely placing it all the way around. It's very similar to what we did to the other part of the roof. We're placing it on top of the spruce wood, on top of the dark blue wool. We're doing 2 layers of red, so this will be the first that you guys are seeing now, and then this is going to be the second that we're now working on. We're going all the way around the top here, and once we've done our 2 layers of red, we're then going to shape this a little bit more, and then we've got to do... how do I explain? We're kind of going to be building up the little center part of the roof here that sits right above the entrance, but you guys will see what I'm talking about in just a moment, so let me just add on this second layer of red wool, and we just want to end up with something that should look exactly like this. So once you have that taken care of, guys, this is what you want to do next. So in line with the first layer of red, so we're at the very front of IHOP, we want to kind of extend out that first layer of red by 1 row. Like, we just want to take the front and we want to extend it out by 1 row. It wants to look a little something like this, as you guys can see. Not only do you want to do this to the front, but we also want to do it on the side. So on the side this time, we do actually want to kind of like extend it out by 1 on the side. So we kind of just want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. That's what you want to have on the right hand side, for example. And you want to have the same on the back. So we're now on the back. We just want to extend this out. On this side as well, we kind of just want to extend this out a little bit as well. So we're just kind of like connecting everything together. We want to end up with something that should look like this. And then what we want to do, like 1 row above and 1 row outwards of everything that we've just done, we want to do a square, or I suppose it's much more of a rectangular shaped layer of red wool that kind of like goes all the way around the top of what we've just made. So we kind of like it wants to skim the very outsides of what we've done, and it wants to be 1 row above and 1 row outwards in relation to like all of the red wool that we've placed. I know that this is really hard to kind of like explain, but hopefully you've managed to follow along, and you'll end up with a shape that should look a little bit like this. I mean, from the top, maybe that explains it a little bit better, but that's exactly what you want to have, guys. So once you have this shape, and just to show you like the front, this is how it'll look a little bit. You want to have something which should look like that. Now, once you have that taken care of, we now want to take out our dark blue wool. So, on top of and inside of the big, giant, square, rectangular shape that we have, with our dark blue wool, we want to add layers and layers and layers of steepled dark blue wool that just eventually reach a point of, well, a point. It wants to eventually look like a pyramid. So this is going to be the first layer. So this is 1 layer higher and 1 layer inwards in relation to the red wool. So that's what we have for the dark blue wool. We then want to do the same thing again and again and again until we eventually reach a single block right at the top. I'm going to cut this out. This is going to take a while, but you guys know what you have to do. Add in your layers and layers and layers of dark blue until you have a pyramid looking shape right on top of your IHOP. You know how to do this. you know how to make it look. I'll be back in a moment. So, assuming that you build up the pyramid correctly, and I have 100% faith in you guys, you should end up with something that should look eventually like this. And that's exactly what you want, guys. I'm sure that you managed to do that perfectly. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. You may notice that underneath, like, the lip of the roof, you might notice that you kind of have like some empty space, so you may just want to fill that in, and you just want to do it in a way that it's not really like visible from the outside. So let me just show you. You just want to have something which should look like you just want to completely fill in the gap, and you just want to make sure that it's completely visible, or invisible I should say, to like the aesthetic of the roof. So you just might want to fill those little gaps in. That's like the front, and of course we've got to do the exact same thing to the sides. I think we can mess about with this row that we have right here. Yeah, we just don't want to tamper with like the horizontal row of red that we kind of like have it in front of the top layer of dark blue. So as long as we just fill in those gaps, well, we simply just don't want any gaps in this, do we? We just don't want any weird gaps that that are kind of like unexplainable. So we're just filling in the sides now, and then once this is done, we just have one last bit to do, which is going to be the roof, which is going to be no fun. So we're just filling in the gaps now. I've said that like 3 times already in the space of like 30 seconds. That's you know what? That's once every 10 seconds. That's not too bad. That could be a lot worse. Has anybody else got a stopwatch running? Good, I hope so as well. So, we've just about filled in all of these gaps. Perfect. It doesn't really make much of a difference until you look down or you look up from like the down position. You wouldn't notice otherwise, but it definitely does make a difference. Definitely makes it look a little bit more professional, a little bit cleaner. Now, once you have that taken care of, this is what you want to do next, guys. So, the next part is the big giant open part of the roof right now. What do we want to do? Well, inside of the top layer of red wool that we have right at the top of the roof, inside of the top layer of red wool, we want to add an additional layer of red wool coming inwards. So, as I'm doing now, we want to add an additional layer of red wool coming inwards. And the reason that this is a little bit different, and the reason that I want to explain a little bit, is this layer of red wool goes all the way around like the base of the big giant like pyramid shaped entrance of IHOP. Like, it goes all the way around the base of that. So I'm just going to show you in a minute. We haven't started with it, we've left it until last, but once you've went all the way around like the most of the building with the red wool, we are just adding the extra layer everywhere else. When you get to this point right here, you kind of want to stop, and it just wants to kind of like go all the way around the base of it. Like, you don't want to come inwards like where we have the birchwood planks, but you just want to go all the way around the base of it anyway. If you guys can see what we're doing, we kind of want to go all the way around the outside of it to have this shape, and we can knock out those blocks as well because those aren't supposed to be there. So you want to have this sort of shape, and what you can then either do, you can fill it in with red wool if you like, but I actually wanted to fill it in with birchwood planks. So just to fill the center part in, I mean, I'm filling it in with birchwood planks. Is that in the right row? Yeah, that's in the right row. Perfect. There's just nothing that we can kind of like latch on to from the outside, or from the inside. So we just want to have something which should look a little bit like that. You can use red if you like. You can use whatever color you like, but I want to use birchwood planks just because I think that it looks a little bit better. So that's what we've got to do there. I was going to kind of like skip ahead and not do this part actually, but we may as well, because we've after this part we've not got too much left. We've just got the roof, and I'm just realizing how long this tutorial is. This is crazy. This is going to be like one of the longest tutorials that I've ever made for like the realistic house stuff. This is a little crazy. Wow. How about that? Yeah, it's definitely going to be. There's no way that it can't. So we have just about finished doing this. So we've just cleaned that up a little bit. We've added some birchwood planks in there. Again, you could use red. It's completely up to you, but I like birchwood planks. Now, once you have got that taken care of, this is what we're going to do next. So we want to take out our red wool, and you can see where we have these two back corners of red, like right at the back of the center front entrance. We want to connect those to the left and right hand side of the actual IHOP building. So we want to connect the entrance all the way to the left and right hand side of the IHOP. So we're kind of like cutting it in half a bit. Once you've done that, this is what you want to do next. And I do have to bring up my plans, guys, and I do have to look at this properly because I don't have this part memorized. So what you want to do is this. So starting from the very back right hand corner of IHOP, which is where we are, like coming towards the front, you want to do this sequence with blocks, and I'm moving the glass and the red wool closer together. So starting from this block right here, coming towards the front, you want to do the sequence of blocks. So you want to do 2 black stained glass, 1 red, 2 glass, 1 red, 3 glass, 1 red, 2 glass, 1 red, 2 glass. We already have our red. Then we want to do, let me make sure that I have this correct, guys. Do 2 glass, 1 red, 2 glass, 1 red, 3 glass, 1 red, 2 glass, 1 red, 2 glass. So you want to have a pattern which should look a little bit like this. So starting from the left hand side, we have 2 glass, 1 red, 2 glass, 1 red, 3 glass, 1 red, 2 glass, 1 red, 2 glass. Then it's that same pattern repeated again, coming towards the front. Now, the reason that that's significant is we now want to take each one of those materials and we want to extend them from the very right hand side of your IHOP all the way over to the very left hand side of your IHOP. And this is where I'm going to be piecing out, because this will take a while. We don't want to make this a 2-hour tutorial, or what might very well be actually like an 1.5-hour tutorial, which is absolutely crazy. That is way too long. I've made Sandy's Treehouse, and that tutorial doesn't take this long, but just to give you guys a bit of a glimpse of how this is going to go, you just want to connect where you can the left hand side of IHOP to the right hand side of IHOP. So where you have the glass, you want to connect the glass. Where you have red wool, you want to connect red wool, and that will be the roof of IHOP. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out and I'm going to show you how the roof should actually look, guys. But I'm not going to do it with this IHOP. I'm going to show you my original IHOP because it's the same. Because once you have completed that part of the roof, you will have 100% fully completed your IHOP building. You should be left, I mean, you can't see the top from here, you don't have to. You should be left with something that should look exactly like this, which, in my opinion, one of my favorite realistic buildings that I've ever made. Once you've got the roof taken care of, that is the actual building part. The tutorial is over, but I am going to show you guys, just in case you want to have a bit of an idea, what the inside and what the outside of your IHOP could look like if you spent a little bit of time on it. It's not crazy, I've not done anything too drastic, but it might give you guys a few ideas who might be struggling. So I'm going to tutorial from this part over. Once the roof's done, that's the actual building done, but let me show you what the original version of my IHOP looks like, so you get a more complete view of it. So I'll be back in just a second. Alright guys, so this is the original version of my IHOP, and as I said, I wanted to start at the roof because that is the part that we just finished on the version that we were just making. And this is how it should end up looking. It's exactly how I said. You just want to connect one side all the way over to the opposite side, and you should end up with a nice looking effect that should look exactly like this. And you might already be able to tell just from looking down through the roof, a lot has actually changed with this IHOP and the one that we were just making. So that is the roof, guys. That is all I wanted to show you on that part. Now let me show you what you might want to add to your IHOP once you have actually finished the actual building process. So this is the original version. We're in my creative world number 6, I believe, or number 7, I honestly lose track. Let's have a look at the inside first of all, and then we'll have a look at the outside, since I've done little to the outside. So, I've never actually been in an IHOP, and from what I can gather from Google Images, it'd look a little something like this, maybe a little different. I actually think I've made it a little bit fancier than you might expect from a regular one, so I apologise, but I think that it's a cool interior regardless. So, I actually think I've got the interior completely wrong. I think I've kind of went a little too fancy, honestly, but It does look kind of cool. Let's take a look anyway. So, this is kind of like the welcome area. You guys remember the two pillars that we have for the roof? Like that big giant square roof that we have at the top? Well, I decided to extend those down through all the way down to the ground here, and I used those to kind of like section off IHOP. Like I just like ran a row of dark oak wood like all the way around this area, making like a nice square welcome entrance. And we have some plants on the left, we have some plants on the right. This is where you'd like get seated, and this is where I'm starting to think that I did completely go off the rails, making it a little too fancy. This is where you'd get seated, like, oh, we've got a table for you over here, sir, etc. So moving up through here on the right, we have kind of like, I'm not entirely sure what this is. This is kind of like a bit of a waiting area. Maybe you're waiting for a reservation. I have definitely got this wrong. This is like a proper fancy restaurant interior. I don't care. It still looks cool. We have a bit of a fountain. We have tables which are not in line properly with the fountain, as I've just noticed. That is bothering me ever so slightly. This row should be one row closer to here. Like I was saying, absolutely nothing wrong with the tables or the seats that I made. Bit of a waterfall. We've just got some random things on the side here, kind of like a weird table thing with some plants on it. Here's kind of like a bar slash reception slash order stuff from area. This is really supposed to be a tiny little bar that I really didn't do too much with. A couple of shelves back there, probably should be a register, stuff like that. This is how I've just kind of split it up. You can obviously lay this out however you want. This is kind of like a kitchen area that I have here. Like, obviously these would have doors on them. This is like a big giant kitchen area. We've got like 3 big giant work surfaces with quartz going all the way around. Next to this is actually 2 toilets, which takes up pretty much the entire back wall of IHOP. So here we just have like a toilet. It's right here. Those are some sinks. We have the equivalent on the opposite side. I figure male and female toilets as usual. The reason that I decided to make the toilets on the inside, by the way, because I remember that we have the windows on the outside. Silly me, with a big giant chest in the background. We really are living in a bizarro world with Minecraft. So I decided to make the toilets on the inside because obviously it wouldn't make any sense if a toilet was here, because you'd be able to like theoretically see through the window and watch somebody on the toilet, which really isn't. I don't think that that's IHOP's special policy, so I decided to make them here with a bit more privacy. And this is kind of just like a bit of an eating area. Very, very simple chairs, very, very simple tables. I mean, this place is kind of like, it's split into, I don't know how many, like 5 different sections, I guess. We've got the toilets, we've got the kitchen, we've got the little bar area, we've got the reception area. It's more like 6 areas, isn't it? We've got the actual like seaty wait area with the I don't know why I'm trying to categorize this into sections. That doesn't make any sense. But this is IHOP. This is how I've kind of split it out. I think that I definitely went a little too fancy with the interior. I'm pretty sure that I went way too fancy. I don't think it's like this. You know what? I'm almost positive it isn't. Prove me wrong. I'm not entirely sure if I'm right or wrong, but I think I went a little too fancy with this. But still. Oh, one last thing that I just want to touch on for the interior. The roof for the interior is actually a 100% copy of the roof that we have up top, except, of course, it's just lower and inside of the building. It's actually one row just above the windows. There's one row difference between the top of the window and where it actually is, and it is just an absolute 100% copied version of the roof that we have up top. Not only do I think that these kind of roofs for the interior look interesting, but they also serve the purpose of the fact that they make the entire place really, really bright. Like, we don't have too many torches scattered about the place, which I like. We do have some to light up a couple of dark areas, but for the most part, this place is pretty light, which I value quite a lot, especially considering that I put a pretty decent amount of work into the interior, which may or may not be too fitting with IHOP. But hopefully I've given you guys a couple of ideas for the interior. Maybe, nah, we'll save that until later, but hopefully this has given you some sort of idea. If you didn't know where to start, this is kind of maybe you can take a couple of ideas from me, kind of throw some things in for yourself, do what you want. I think that this is a pretty decent interior, but maybe not too fitting. If I did like a fancy restaurant, or maybe like a Chinese restaurant, a fancy Chinese restaurant, this would probably fit quite a lot better. So, feel free to use this, feel free not to, feel free to mold it. Hopefully I've given you guys a couple of ideas. So let's move on to the outside now, and I can show you what I've done here. So just as I did with Pizza Hut, I've not really messed about with the outside too much. All I've done is I've added a bit of a path going in front of IHOP. It's not around. We have a bit of a path leading up to the entrance. We've got a couple of rose bushes, and then we've just got a couple of parking spaces. It's as easy as that. And I don't think that I really have to give you guys any details of this. I mean, you can kind of like count things out as you want, because the smoothed andesite, I believe it's called. Is that what it's called, guys? Let me just check. Oh, the polished andesite, if I've pronounced that correctly. You can probably count everything out as you so wish. Feel free to use this plan. It's just a couple of parking spaces, some rose bushes, and a bit of a walkway going all the way around the front of our IHOP. And I didn't feel the need to add any sort of drive-through, because I don't think that there's a drive-through. Can't be sure, but I don't think there's one. And even if there was one, to be honest, I actually quite like it like this anyway. So this is IHOP, that's the interior, that's the exterior. Hopefully I've given you guys a couple of ideas for that, just in case you didn't really know what to do. That's the entire point of that. So hopefully you guys like IHOP. Hopefully you've managed to make it, and if you've done both of those things, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like, a favourite, a share, anything you'd feel like doing to help me out. I would always vastly appreciate it. I spent a lot of time not only on the exterior of IHOP, and I'm not going to show you guys the back because it's boring, not only on the exterior of IHOP, but believe it or not, the inside of that actually took me a little while to make as well. I wanted to design a nice interior for once, make it look a little bit different to what I usually make, and hopefully you've appreciated that as well. So hopefully you guys like this video, hopefully you've managed to make it. Comment down below, what sort of building do you want to see me make next, and also feel free to make fun of my ridiculous interior, because I think that I've went a little step too far. It doesn't really make too much sense, but it is a nice interior anyway, as I keep saying to myself over and over again to try and convince myself. So feel free to check out the cost system as well. Loads of videos, loads of playlists in there that I think that you'll enjoy. Check out the real life building playlist if you like IHOP. I've done loads of other things exactly like this. Like, favorite, share. Again, comment down below, what do you want to see me make next? Maybe you even want to see me do the interior for IHOP. I do have the original version, or sorry, the version that we just made of IHOP. Maybe I can do that up and we can do it in a video. Let me know if you want to see that, because I've been thinking about doing that for a while. Maybe like doing the exterior, the actual building, and then doing the interior as well. Let me know about that. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Like, favorite, share if you wouldn't mind. Comment down below. Check out the cost system, and I'll see you in the next video. Very important that you let me know what building you want to see me make next, though.